And a happy what the hell everything day. Before we get to the podcast, if you would be so kind to check out the Patreon page. A lot of extra content on the Patreon page and more stuff to come on the Patreon page, patreon.com/we3smiths. Only $3 a month, and that's how I'm going to fund my bucket list project of all time, the Smitty Learns Irish Pubcast, year-long hike in Ireland. And if you could consider becoming a patron, I would be ever so grateful. Patreon.com/we3smiths, and what the hell everything. What the hell everything? And welcome to the What the Hell Everything podcast. My name is Smitty. The week of September 27th, 2021. And I always wonder how often or how early in these podcasts, the days after a Lions game, I should just go off, and because it's going to happen. I love talking Lions, man. It's just part of my DNA, and I even love talking shit when they're terrible, but they're not that terrible right now. I mean, they're shitty at a lot of parts of the game. They have no wide receivers, really, except for Cephas, Quintez Cephas, is that his name? I think that's his name. He's the only bright spot as far as the receivers go, really, I've seen so far. It's just been horrible. Jared Goff looks like he's kind of maybe finding the groove, but that that running game, the offensive line, it's been such a long time since I've seen the Lions push off the line and you get instant space and holes. This thing called a holes that we were like, oh man, if Barry Sanders had the Dallas Cowboys line had this thing called holes, he'd have ran for 6 million fucking yards a season. So it was the first time I've ever really consistently through the first 3 games now of the season where it's just they fucking hit off the line, man. And it's fun to watch. It fills you with optimism that you probably shouldn't have as a Lions fan. But the running game, the short passing game to the running backs, DeAndre Swift, fuck, man. There's little, really bright spots. You're like, man, if they get a couple pieces, free agency, next year's a whole new ball game. This is where the fucking stupid homer optimism comes in, because when I say to people I'm positive about the Lions, they're like, shut up, blah blah blah, you think they're going to the Super Bowl? No, but they might go to the Super Bowl in a couple years. Next year, who knows, man. Jared Goff isn't a complete fucking slouch. He did play in the Super Bowl, But man, one of the most Detroit Lions ways to fucking lose ever. Really. Right when that fucking asshole was about to kick that field goal, Justin Tucker with his NFL record 66-yard field goal. Oh, God. Levi goes, we should call Dad. Or something like that. I can't remember what he said, but it was like the last Justin Tucker field goal thing. He had 6 in a game, and fucking including the game winner, of course. But you're just like, oh. And Levi even said, if they take the lead with a minute left, he said, oh, then Lamar Jackson's going to, drive him down the field, and Justin Tucker with a game-winning field goal with a minute left. He said this, and sure as shit, that's exactly what happened. You're like, there's no way he's going to hit this fucking 66-yard field goal. Donk into the fucking, Jesus, fuck, man. What a shitty way to go. One of the most Detroit Lions ways to go of all time. You're looking good. You came back, you took the lead, and then nope. Honestly, fucking, the Lions are Charlie Brown, man. They just keep getting fucking football yanked out from under them. Every single year, it's going to be whoop, 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 whoop. Man, the NFL is loosey. The fucking refs are loosey. That's what that is. Another ref bullshit call. I know it happens to other teams. I know it happens to other teams, but I feel like it's just disproportionately. The ratio is way heavier on the Detroit Lions. guess it's a good thing I started this podcast talking shit about the Lions. And then to make it worse, the fucking Packers won in the last second. I got stuck watching that shit working at the bar. It really sucks watching football with other people. A, because I got fucking fans of the teams I hate, like the Packers, actively rooting with fucking their bullshit green shirts on. And you're like, God damn it, these insufferable pricks. I have to sit through it and be nice to them because they're customers. You know? They're all talking shit, and I'm just like, you know what? I hope you choke on your beer. Not really, just enough to scare you that maybe I have the wrong allegiances. You're from Michigan. I don't even understand. I don't understand how that's a thing. You were born and raised in Michigan. You have a home fucking team. Yeah, it sucks being their fans sometimes, but there's no other way to be, because you know what's going to happen? It's the same thing that happened with the fucking Red Sox and the Cubs. The shitty team comes around, and it makes winning it all that much fucking sweeter. Maybe in a year or two. Oh, man. It's just one of the, honestly, it's the dumbest things to say out loud. I remember that's how I had the whole talk practice thing, and I've told this story before, but this is how I had the whole talk practice thing that I have, is that I interviewed the voice of the Detroit Lions, Dan Miller, on the radio show once. And I can't remember how. Oh, I asked him if he ever practiced his Super Bowl call for the Detroit Lions. And he said, of course I do. And I was so fucking excited at the prospect of Dan Miller practicing the Detroit Lions Super Bowl call. But then he said, you know, back how the talk practice thing happened, he said, yeah, because I practice talking. That's one of the ways I got better, is practice talking. And I'm like, holy shit, that would totally work for me. And it does. So, yeah, Dan Miller practices that call. It's okay to think about the Super Bowl, man. That's the whole fun of this fucking being a fan thing. And then you have the heartache when it doesn't happen again and again and again and again. Oh, the fucking Lions, man. The fucking Lions. I also, when was it? Yesterday or the day before, I saw that it was National Daughters Day. And I don't have a daughter or a son or children at all. I have a cat. But I did see that it was National Daughters Day, including one of my friends who posted, and I don't know if this was serious or not. I don't know if her daughters actually gave her shit. But the post was something like, yeah, because I'm late about it apparently, but here's a post for National Daughters Day. Love you, girls. And so I don't know if she was serious about her daughters giving her shit. Like, when did we have to start capitulating to these national days that are just people just make up? There's like 4 different national days every single day. Like, it's National Hot Dog Day, but it's also National Smile at Your Coworker Day, and then it's National Tell Your Coworker to Fuck Off Day the next day. But we're supposed to follow all these bullshit. Oh, it's National Taco Day. Oh, I didn't know. I guess we have to have tacos today. Which, I'm not bitching about tacos one single fucking bit, you know, but it just becomes a bit much. Like, if you really gave someone shit for, you know, National Sons Day or National Friends Day or something, you didn't post about National Friends Day or tag me, you fuck. But people actually get upset about that shit now, and it's fucking hilarious. Why? It's like, what is that, Sweetest Day? Because I got married on Sweetest Day. I did. I used to be married. Holy shit, that's what, 20 fucking years ago now. Oh my God, how old was I? Yeah. Yeah, because I got married right after 9/11. Oh my God, my fucking anniversary was like a week ago, and I forgot all about it. Fucking A. That was my 20 years ago that I got married now. It was on Sweetest Day in that year in 2001. And I just remember thinking, I'm like, yeah, I guess it's kind of sweet that we got married on Sweetest Day, but apparently it didn't mean shit. And who made up that bullshit holiday? Like, they already have a sweetest day. It's called Valentine's Day. You know, you already feel like you got to fucking get shit for somebody for that. Now you got to feel like you got to get shit for somebody for this fucking bullshit holiday that somebody just made up. Hallmark sons of bitches. I bet they are just raking it in on these fucking National Day of Go Fuck Yourselves. That was mean. Somebody came up with all these days, and it's people seem to like it. Not me. Blow my nose at it. Also a terrible idea. Well, I got my sneezy out of me. Also a terrible idea, and it might be the worst idea I've ever had, because I'm always thinking of ideas. I think, that would be a fun podcast to do, or that would be a fun thing to do, a Photoshop to do. I just like the ability to execute fucking ideas whenever I have them, you know? But I had an idea the other day, because the whole Irish hiking trip idea thing, part of the idea and the lure of that for me, and I mean this 100%, it could probably sound pretentious as fuck, but is I want to be like a goodwill ambassador for the United States and Ireland, you know? Just go around, hey, we're not all assholes kind of thing, you know? I mean, I'm an asshole, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. So that's part of the goal. You know, I want to get to know the Irish people, because I consider them and other countries to be our proverbial neighbors. Mexico's our neighbor, Canada's our neighbor, Ireland's our neighbor from down the street. They're a little further, you know. And you hopefully care about your neighbors. That's like one of the people like to say, you know, has this country lost? Like, what is it? What is wrong with this country? What used to be good but is not anymore? I bet black people could tell you a lot. But I think one of the things that made the country great was that you took care of your neighbors. You know, that was a very community-oriented thing. Now it's kind of turned to where stay out of your fucking lane, mind your fucking business, you know. But I think when neighbors were taking care of each other in this country, which seemed to be like in the 50s they were, unless you were black, and hopefully we can fix that this time around. But being community-minded and worrying about your neighbors. Now I say this because that's the goal of, you know, going to Ireland. And I feel like you should talk to your neighbors, you know what I mean? We got to be neighborly. So that's the whole idea behind the podcast, at least to me, in a way. But then I'm like, wait a second, I hate my fucking neighbors. But here's the thing, I don't even hate my neighbors. I just don't know them, and I don't want to know them. And I'm like, oh man, you know what I could do? Here's where the worst idea comes in. You know what I could do? I could do a podcast with my neighbors and call it the Know Your Neighbor podcast. And I actually fucking wrote it down, and I made a little note. I'm like, I'm gonna investigate this idea further. It could be really fucking fun and like a good idea podcast, you know? Then I'm like, wait, that's a fuck, man. That idea is the worst. First of all, Levi would hate that. Levi would hate having neighbors in our house. Hate it. He doesn't want to get to know the neighbors way worse than I do. But he talks to them more. He's out there doing things with the dog more and grilling and using the smoker more. So he talks to the neighbors more than I do. Better on it for him. Or better for him on it. Whatever the fuck the term was. He talks to them way more. But that doesn't mean we want him in the house. Then I'm like, I could go to their house and do it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go to their fucking house either. Could do it like in the garage, like facing the road. No, that's either way you shake it. It's just I'd prefer to not know my neighbors. It makes me happier when I don't have to talk to neighbors. I know that sounds shitty, but if like my friend lived across the street, because I've had neighbors that I've been great friends with and go to visit a lot, you know, but it's just there's something about living in town, I think. Where you're just neighbor, fucking house, cars literally 10 feet from your driveway or something, and you're like, oh God, Just I'm used to like country living, man, where you can barely see another house, you know? Like that's the best thing. I remember when I lived downstate, we lived in a neighborhood, and that was the first time I ever lived in like a neighborhood. But there still was not like across the street neighbors, you know, it was still on a dirt road, even though there were neighbors. But that was way different for me. I still didn't even like living in that neighborhood, you know. I always had this thing where people are watching me. I don't want people watching me. I don't want people seeing what I'm doing, you know. It's just like, ew. I'm not even doing anything weird. I'm sure most people would say that. Some people might. But I bet if I were to say, oh, because that's a very neighborly thing to do, is to bring them a pie, you know? Now, this is where the bad idea could turn good, because Brother Levi just discovered he made the best fucking apple pie. Every time that fucking guy makes something, it's like the best version of that thing that I've ever had. And I'm not going to say he has the best pie ever, because pie and baking generally, or baking specifically, but pie right this instance, it's harder than just cooking. There's so many more elements. You have to be precise with your measurements. You have to be precise with temperatures. You have to be precise with like yeast rising times and temperatures and shit like that. And Levi just fucking made the best bread of all time too. But he's figuring out baking. And that fucking guy made just an amazing apple pie. Not the best pie, I can't claim that. But it was so fucking good. So we could use Levi's apple pie as a neighborly gesture in the podcast. The Know Your Neighbors podcast. Oh, it's not as bad as no, that's a freaking pretty bad idea. The other bad idea was on the live stream podcast that I did with Sletter and Josh Thomas. Which I should release that video. I did take a couple clips of that, all the bong hits from that podcast, and I was going to make a compilation with the worst idea ever thing, which was Josh's idea that we do a podcast for kids, like Smitty, and I can't remember what the fucking name of it is. Either way, it's a fucking terrible idea. I don't have children, and I don't really like associating with them that much. I love to see my nephews in that, but by and large, they're, get out of here, kid, you bother me. But that was a fucking terrible idea. Josh, way to go. You know, you got to have the good ideas, or you got to have the bad ideas if you're going to have the good ideas. You can turn bad ideas into good ideas with a little bit of tweaking. You know, that's where the good brainstorming happens. Fucking... I used to call Tim Logan, even when we were he was not working in radio for a long time, and I would still call him once in a while and just be like, dude, I got either the best idea or the worst idea, and I don't know which one it is yet. I want to give a huge shout out to Fat Chicks Barbecue, sponsors to the What the Hell Everything Fat Chicks Barbecue in the bustling metropolis of Atlanta, Michigan. I talked the last time on the podcast about Fat Chicks, just how innovative they were and how creative they were with their memories. Memories, what are you saying? What's that? Where did that word come from? There you go, stuttering Smitty. How creative they were with their recipes. Recipes are like memories. They have the same sort of feeling, you know? Shut the fuck up. They have really creative recipes. They did pork wings. And I was like, pork wings? I go, Levi, they have pork wings at Fat Chicks. We were brainstorming. What is it? What kind of cut? What are they doing? Would it be rib tips? I messaged Tim at Fat Chicks. I said, dude, are those rib tips? No, they are. What do you say they were? What did you say they were, Smitty? Oh, I thought I had it ready to go. Oh, they are pork shanks. And I said, oh my God, they look ridiculous. And yes, they are ridiculous. Man, I can't say enough good things about Fat Chicks. They are right downtown Atlanta, Michigan. You can't miss them. Right at the blinking yellow light, I'm pretty sure, which is West Street. And they just had a bunch of like elk sausage for the elk festival. They might have some of that left over. That's the thing about a podcast. When you're talking about menu items and things they have, things change. So you see this podcast later, they might not have that certain menu item. Some of them are seasonal. You know what I'm talking about. Supply chains are really an issue right now, especially with smaller town places like in Atlanta, Michigan. And then staffing, like with every restaurant, is an issue as well. So some places might have to shut down once in a while, be closed for a day. It is happening everywhere right now. And everybody, I think, is understanding that. There's always some assholes that are just like, they're like, I don't understand why I can't just get right in. And I don't understand why you're not open. Yeah, people need to take a break, man. You can't have people working every single day, 16 hours a day, or however long business hours are. It just doesn't work like that. There's things people need to do, and if there's nobody to do them, sometimes you need to close. And I think most people are getting that, man, because you get a place like Fat Chicks where those guys believe so much in what they're doing. Talking to Heather, how much they believe in the recipes and the food that they've created, the brand that they've created, which is super funny. It's super fun. It's super tongue-in-cheek, and I love it that they get it. I love that they get that people are way more accepting of that kind of thing, which Fat Chicks Barbecue could be off-putting to some people, usually fucking squares. But they're amazing. They're a destination barbecue joint in Atlanta, Michigan. It's the best barbecue you've never heard about. Fat Chicks Barbecue. Check them out in Atlanta. I'm really looking forward to going there. I'm pretty sure Brother Levi and I, maybe Josh as well, are going to do some sort of cooking podcast with those guys. And I want to do a cooking challenge with Fat Chicks Barbecue. I'm going to throw it out to those guys right now, specifically Tim and his fucking Green Bay Packer loving ass. He posted on, I saw Fat Chicks Barbecue posted on their Facebook page about being at Lambeau. Either Tim was at Lambeau or something. And, basically endorsing Fat Chicks Barbecue, endorsing Green Bay Packers. Yeah, go Pack! Ugh. And I'm like, I can't fucking believe I let these guys sponsor my podcast. Son of a bitch. I think I commented on the comment section. Like, yeah, that's redundant. I said, changed my mind. Sorry. So I'm going to try to start some shit with Tim. It's hard to do when your team is 0-3 and the other team has Aaron Rodgers. And what a bummer. I get so mad when the Lions lose and the Packers win because I am petty and I'm jealous and I want to fucking see Aaron Rodgers and the Packers eat shit and never, ever, ever win another game. So that's exactly how much I hate them and exactly how much shit I want to start with Tim. And really, I feel like this could be a fun cooking competition. Now, I don't know how to do it because, I think we could do like prepared dishes and have some kind of cook-off. Then you have people show up, judge it some way, somehow. I don't know how, but I want to pit Levi's food against Fat Chicks food, which would be, but what if Levi won? I would feel bad, I don't want like podcast sponsor. They give me money. I don't want to be like, sorry, your barbecue ain't as good as Levi's, but somehow we can work something out because it'd be fun just to talk shit to Tim and his Packer loving ass. This is one of those things that some people don't understand how you can do. It's like sports fans too, You can talk a lot of shit to people and be pretty mean to people based on their sports allegiances, but they get it in the right scenario. There was a customer that came into the bar the other day, and he goes, "Oh, what kind of beer do you got?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got a lot of beer for people that don't have Ohio State jerseys on." It's fun to do. It's fun to talk shit to other sports fans, especially if they're from a region that you like to make fun of, like neighbors. It's called busted balls, you guys. It's not mean if it's hilarious. Anyway, let's start some shit with fat chicks. I really want to do that. I also want to, I made a post, a clip of the Sunday morning talk practice that I did yesterday. Recording date and time, by the way, is September 27th. But yesterday I did talk practice, and during it I kind of went through a real struggle, man. And I talked about it on the clip that I posted too. Just about my struggle and my journey to overcome a lot of anxieties in order to do shit like this. I've always wanted to do things like this. I haven't always been able to do it. So I got really honest on that clip. A couple people commented and talked to me and messaged me and, surprised. And I just don't want to, I guess I always feel like I just don't want to make it seem like I'm looking for sympathy. That's at least how it seems. I'm just a person on their own journey. And I made a commitment to myself on this podcast a long time ago that the only way that I can be successful is by relating to people. And especially in the moment while you're having issues, when I was doing the podcast yesterday, it's just it makes sense to talk about it. More and more people are talking about this stuff, man, and it has to be normalized. People are always saying it. We got to talk more about mental health. Got to talk more about mental health. Well, when you do, it shouldn't be surprising. It should just open up more alleys for other people too. It needs to feel normal. To be able to talk about it, because I just feel I'm a firm believer that way more people have issues with anxiety or depression or whatever, you name it. Then are willing to admit it. And I just think the more people that will admit it, you'd be a lot better off, man. And, I'm having the time of my life doing this shit. I'm not, I'm not, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't post things like that as not an act cry for help or anything like that. I just want to be transparent. I want more people to understand that these things are happening, I'm good. I battle through these things and then I come out better on the other side, It's called working. It's called growth, That's how you get there. At least it seems like to me. It's peaks and valleys, man. Peaks and valleys. You got to see the good in order. You got to get through the bad in order to get to the good. And as long as you can see the good and you got goals and you got things you want to do, fucking sky's the limit, man. I'm learning way more about myself and things I didn't know I was good at until very recently. And relatively recently, let's put it that way. It's a very fucking cool feeling, Anyway, I just wanted to say that and wrap up the podcast. I think that's a good closer, I think. But yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I'm glad people are joining me. I'm glad people that are enjoying the podcast. It feels great. It feels great to see people get involved and appreciate it. And if you want to hit up the Patreon page for even more, that's patreon.com/we3 Smiths. And until next time.
So long, sucker.
Good night, everybody.
I am so sorry for everything that has happened.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right, I'll see you guys there.
By the bar and get your face, huh?
Get me paid, bitch.
Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog.
I love y'all very much. Peace out.
Good night, ladies.
What the hell? Everything!